Alright, we're back. Actually registering the damn thing now. Okay, finally. The irritating thing is we could have just done this from the beginning. They took out the Kojima Productions thing in the PC version. I didn't realise that. Alright, is everybody back? Is everybody in again? What a load of messing around. Hey, Clem. You still with us, Bane? Excellent. Considering how late it is, Bane, let me know when you're about to leave, and we'll call it there, so you don't miss anything. That's a bit loud for me. Hey, nope. There we go. Because this is a very story-focused game. We're playing this via backwards compatibility because that's about right. Yeah, I have it on Xbox. One of the main reasons why I was trying to do this on PC is because I don't have the DLC on Xbox. The DLC is very important to the story.
A storm is coming. Mankind faces ruin and despair. The world is changing.
So it's not going to look as good.
Hope remains in the hearts of the people.
But the good news is it won't come through.
We go about our daily lives never knowing the forces that can change our destinies forever.
And we actually get to start the game from the beginning.
We are oblivious,
why is that not a thing?
ignorant like sheep to the slaughter.
Such a problem.
This night, in the year of our Lord 1047, marks the beginning of our journey together.
Coming through kind of loud.
A journey into
I'm looking
darkness,
at the sound bar
into
here.
madness. I watch him from the shadows.
Why is my controller disconnected?
Is he the one?
Some of the battery's dead.
He has come far already, but he will be tested. Tested to the very limits of human endurance and beyond. This night he rides looking for the old gods, armed with an amulet that has led him here. Tonight he will begin his journey into oblivion.
This battery was like full yesterday. Look at it, it's full on the top right. Why is it disconnecting? Also, I need to stop those from downloading, because that may affect the stream. Ooh, Jackbox Pipe Pack 3, I forgot that was coming out. No, it's been bullshit. Right, just open the fucking thing. Get the battery out. Come on, there we go. Do you believe that the Xbox pad doesn't come with a rechargeable battery when you get it? You have to go out and buy a battery pack for it. Like, there are several things to complain about the Xbox One with over the PS4. I think that is the first thing to complain about. The lack of rechargeable battery. And the fact that pressing pause all pretty much never pauses all. This is some stuff I'm intending to do a one-off at some point on. Except for this, I might do a playthrough of this at some point. Get a look into the future of the channel. There we go.
The struggle for supremacy is eternal.
Still, let me know if Patrick Stewart's coming through a bit too loud.
Victory is the natural objective of every creature.
The part probably hasn't gone up yet for Astral Chain. But there's a point in Astral Chain when I remark on the drift issue with Joy-Cons, and from what I've heard, it's also popping up every now and then. There's an issue with the Pro Controller which costs £60, like 60-65 quid. And like, if my Pro Controller starts developing drift, I am not getting a replacement. I'm gonna just get myself a wired pad. I have a wireless GameCube controller that I use for my Switch. I don't use it for Astral Chain because the button layout doesn't quite work for me. But you know, I'll just get myself a wireless, I'll get myself a wired pad. I don't care.
If it is true.
Yeah, Lords of Shadow, developed by Mercury Steam, it's a reboot completely separate from the rest of the series. Hideo Kojima was involved in some respects, not sure what. And as we said before in the bit that we had to just cut when we were trying to do it on PC, which if you're watching this in the future on the channel, you know, you'll never see. That's gone. You'll never see that. You got the two traditional types of Castlevania, Classicvania, Metroidvania. And then this game comes along, and I've heard it referred to as God of Vania, which is a reasonable enough description. It is basically God of War clone, but I think it does enough to distinguish itself to be worth playing. The mechanics work well, the story is good, the main character is a hell of a lot more likeable than Kratos. And I really like the mythology it builds up. Let's get into the game. Let me try and figure out my own volume for this. If there's one thing I really don't like, though, that's come out of this game, the whip is called the Combat Cross. It's a specific kind of weapon that's used for this series. We didn't have this in the PC playthrough we were trying, because I guess that would happen was the first time. I like the Combat Cross as a weapon. What I don't like is, in a bunch of the more recent stuff Konami's done, pretty much entirely the pachinko machines. The videos that show those show the classic characters using the Combat Cross, which I don't like. You know what? No, it wasn't even that. I don't care about the pachinko machines. It was Smash. Richter and Simon in Smash used the Combat Cross, and I'm not fond of that. They should be using the classic Vampire Killer. The classic God of War QTEs. So the daggers work pretty well against the wall because they're made of silver. I love the idea of the whip as a deadly weapon. One of my favourite bits from the... I'm supposed to buy guillotine. One of my favourite bits from the Netflix series is when Trevor comes up against 2 corrupt priests, and he uses the whip to pull one of their eyes out. And I'm like, I like that. That's cool. Yeah, this game has a focus on the story. It also has fairly big name actors like Patrick Stewart as the narrator and Zobek, who we will meet later. Clem, I assume you've played this before. You mentioned you really enjoyed it. Bane, have you ever played Lords of Shadow? Oh, wow. Well, there was nothing I could have possibly done to save it. No, you've never played it. You might be in for a treat then. It's a pretty solid game, and the story is really good. There we go. Visually, it is a very good looking game. It helps that we're running this on the Xbox One through backwards compatibility. So I think it is actually running at 1080p as opposed to the standard 720 it would have come out at. But I'm also kind of a sucker for battles in the lane. It's like, to me, the Devil May Cry 3 showing the battle between Dante and Virgil in the Lane is such a cool opening. How do we actually get a boss meeting now? Well, that. I think fights in the rain are cool. The fight between Neo and Smith at the end of Matrix Revolutions happening in the rain was so cool. Why are you so tiny?
Who are you?
And Gabriel Belmont, voiced by...
I am Gabriel. I have travelled here seeking the Guardian of the Lake.
You are from the Order? They sent you?
How do I find him?
He will find you. In the forest.
This is also a fairly sizable game. Like lengthwise. Oh, my horse died. That wasn't pretty. Any idea what that point was? No, not the mecha horse. Oh, I can't buy any of that. Hedge maze, hedge maze. The only thing I can think of is in Lords of Shadow 2.
I follow him into the old forest, watching him from afar.
There may be, and
He
I've
is
just
strong
forgotten it.
indeed. The one God comes to drive out the many, but here, in this place, God's influence is thin and threadbare. The old gods still hold sway here.
So I like this idea of
the
Catholic
he
God
is disturbed by dreams
becoming
that gnaw at his very
the
soul.
focus of God.
He will rest for the night, but rest will not come easy. The battle has left him weakened, but he knows the dream will return, and though he fears nothing on this earth, yet his nightmares sap the strength within him.
Yeah, I think you are thinking Lord Shadow
a cold
2,
grip on his heart.
with
Tomorrow
Hans
he will
brother,
use the old hunting path. Long
which
has
was
it been
bullshit.
in disuse.
The only way I got past
but
that was
for
essentially
now,
by breaking the mechanics. That was like the worst part of the game.
What motivates a man to confront the challenges that most of us would run from? Condemning him to solitude, exposing him to defeat and death.
One thing I do kind of like about this as well is just how many references to classic Castlevania there are.
A force so powerful that all reason becomes blind to it, blind to all things, even the truth.
And I think it's fun to find them, to look for the references.
Loss of love can make a man desperate, desperate enough to do anything to bury the truth, to hide from its pain.
So, Gabriel's wife is dead. This is why he's on his quest. Hello, Magic Spirit Hawk.
The guardian of the lake. I will take you to him, but we must be quick. Climb onto my back. Hurry!
Okay, I'm not going to ask any questions. It's weird that we go from the opening tutorial combat sequence to this. Like, we've not had any reason why we would expect this, or just agree to this. Like, if this came later, it probably wouldn't be so bad. Oh, there we go. Marie, the youngest daughter of a rich merchant family that was always attracted by the courageous nature of the Brotherhood of Light. Curious and lively, she often escaped from her duties at home in order to help the monks, baking and cleaning for them. During one of these visits, she became acquainted with a boy who would later become her husband, an orphan by the name of Gabriel. Those two youngsters were made for each other. They grew up together and made promises of the future. These promises were kept when, one idyllic morning, with the blessing of both her family and the Brotherhood, the couple was married. Marie provided a good counterpart to Gabriel's dark moods, and often just her laughter was enough to blow away the gathering storm within him. Now Marie has been tragically murdered, and Gabriel seeks revenge. That's a weird biography. It's like, yeah, no, she lived, they fell in love, they married, it was such a happy time, now she's dead. As an infant, he was found abandoned at the door of one of the Brotherhood of Light's convents. It is not known who his original parents were. Some suspect that he was the unwanted bastard of a local wealthy landowner, most likely from the Kronkvist family, though this has never been proven. If you remember, Kronkvist was the name of Leon's friend in Labyrinth of Innocence, Matthias Kronkvist, who would later become Dracula. So already we have a first reference. The Order named the boy after the blessed Archangel Gabriel and raised him as one of its own. A precocious child, he quickly proved to be extremely talented, developing an unprecedented mastery of the fighting arts. Gabriel took the surname of Belmont from his love of the mountains and the high places of the world. Prone to dark moods and occasional ambivalence, Gabriel was deeply affected by the death of his childhood sweetheart Marie. He has embarked on his quest at the request of the elders of the Brotherhood and has a burning desire for revenge. And then there are monsters. So we have the story. Bloody wasps. Come here. Good thing this is a magic crouch. Otherwise it might have fallen over there. So what it's basically teaching us now is the perfect guard. Almost every melee combat game these days has one. Now, if a game isn't doing a parry mechanic like Dark Souls, which this game is too old to actually be copying Dark Souls. But if a melee combat game isn't doing a specific parry button, it does a perfect guard. Magic Horse. Pretty sure the horse has a name. You know, I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you there. Perfect guard, if you miss it, you will still block. Yeah. The actual parry becomes a risk versus reward thing, and it becomes a case of, like in Dark Souls 2, when we were doing Dark Souls 2 stream, after the first couple of tries, the first few tries of parry, it basically never parried. It really just wasn't working. So at that point, I'll block. I don't get it. Run, Magic Horse. I'll take care of this. Yeah, it's not worth it. Yeah, that was the even worse thing. When I was pulling off parries in Dark Souls 2, the ripostes just weren't working. I think I ended up with... I wasn't counting, but like say I ended up with 10 parries in the entire game, I pulled off 1 riposte. Like, that was the issue, that kind of thing. Yeah, focus on it. It's definitely one of the problems Dark Souls as a series has. Like, if there was some kind of tutorial that explained how parrying and riposting was different in 2 versus 1, fine. But Dark Souls as a series is just so against the telling you anything. It's bullshit.
I can travel no further. You will find what you seek ahead.
Magic Horse, no. The magic mecha horse. It is really weird how this game starts. Like, now we're doing a travel montage. Maybe that's part of the reason why I find this game so difficult to actually start. We have the ability to ride a horse. Okay, what else do we got? Spinning chain. That's probably not going to be all that useful to me right now. I guess we'll leave it for the minute. Yeah, Dark Souls as a series is so against telling you anything.
Alone again, with only his thoughts as
worst
company,
things about the
he
series.
continues on his journey to find the one he seeks.
There's difficult,
Who
and then
or
there's
what
obtuse.
was that strange creature? There is a power here
when
that
Dark
few
Souls 2 was
know,
coming out, there was a
a
big thing
power
about
that
them
could
saying
have
they've
some
made it more
influence on
accessible,
events.
which isn't a bad thing.
Perhaps the Guardian of the Lake is aware
But in
of
a
him
lot
now
of ways, it
and
isn't
offers
more
aid
more
in his
accessible
quest.
than Dark Souls 1.
There is just the small matter of the dead bog to overcome,
One
a
of the
place that
biggest
has
problems,
claimed
it's a
the
game-
lives
Dark
of many
Souls as
of
a
the
game
Brotherhood.
is a game you
The smell
want to
of
go in
death
blind.
is strong here,
You want to know as little
and
as
danger
possible.
lies around every
Because
corner,
just
but
the
nothing
journey,
will
the
stop him.
the exploration,
Nothing will stand
finding
in his
stuff
way.
is one of the best parts of it. But it's a game that you really should have a wiki for, because the game does not teach you how to play the game. It tells you what the buttons do, and then that's it. It doesn't tell you how the scaling system works, what souls are actually good for, and it's a big problem. You know, you say that, but even old school NES games would have instructions in the manual, and Dark Souls doesn't. Life Share Medallion. These are usually worn by warriors of the Brotherhood of Light, blah blah blah, health increase. We get 5 of them, we increase our max health. Yeah, manuals. God, I used to love manuals. I'd go out to the game shop, get myself a game, and then read the manual on the bus home. It was like one of the best parts of getting a game. Nowadays, you buy a game and the manual, just, there isn't one. There's something terrible in the water. There's something in the water. Something terrible. I've seen men dragged under, never to return. The locations of these creatures can only be seen as ripples or bubbles on the surface. I surmise one must wait for these ripples and bubbles to disappear before progressing through the bog. One cannot walk around them because the noxious fumes lay on either side of the safe path, so one must be patient and wait for the right moment to cross over them. Heck, I know I'm going to die, but at least it'll be fighting, not swallowed by any of those Maya fiends. I still got my Final Fantasy VII manual. I've still got the box. Yeah, I've got Origins, Anthology 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, we're talking PS1 games. That looks like a firecracker. Goblins? I'm sorry, did you want this back? Are these goblins? They are goblins. Alright. You know, if there's one thing that's good about primarily being... If there's just one thing that's really good about being able to buy digital, it's that the game's gonna work when you get it. Except for those times where it'll just crash for no reason, like Prince of Persia HD Trilogy. Fun fact, you get the Standard Time HD Trilogy on PS3. The games will crash if you are downloading anything. On top of all the actual problems they have, those games will crash if you're downloading anything in the background. Bullshit. Hands. Yeah, what's that? Naiads? Oh, I'm going back that way. Alright, go. Yeah, manuals are something of a mess. I understand the reason why we don't get manuals anymore. Well, I understand the reason we shouldn't get manuals anymore. I know the reason we don't get manuals anymore is because publishers are cheap. But yeah, we should be wasting less paper on manuals. But we know that's not the reason we don't get manuals anymore, because they don't want to pay for them. You know what, the hand things and this whole swamp thing happening this early, again, part of the reason why I think Lords of Shadow is a hard game to start. The worst thing about all that stuff, like, yeah, we'll remove manuals, it'll save on cost, save on printing costs and shit. Do we see the savings? No. They still charge the same price. Well, that's the thing, they charge the same price for less. And that's essentially the big thing of the gaming industry now, isn't it? Charging the same price for less. Yeah. I mean, it's not the main reason, but it's certainly part of the reason why I'll spend a bunch of my time on retro. I can't believe that worked. Nah, you wouldn't get a credit screen. You'd press start and then you'd get opening text, maybe. And then you'd be linked to the PSN store. Like, there's a point where they're gonna have to stop. Like, your point is entirely right, but there's a point where it'll get to where they'll have to stop. They can only push so far before people stop buying shit. And there is the thought, like, I've been saying for a while now, we're looking at... We are getting closer and closer to the games industry, just the bubble bursting. Because this kind of shit isn't sustainable. Why would you want to go out and pay full price for a game that is shit? And not shit because the team couldn't do better, shit because the publishers pushed them to make shit. I mean, look at some... oh, balls. Look at some of the more recent examples of that kind of thing. Like, look at Battlefront 2, when that came out. Competently designed, but so loaded with loot boxes and microtransaction bullshit. And people rebelled. But you end up with the problem of, sooner or later, people aren't going to rebel against this kind of thing. You know, I started trying to play Battlefront 2 recently because I've got it. I've had it for a while, and I've heard it's pretty good now. Either the netcode shit or my internet just wasn't working that well. But, you know, part of the problem is I have it on PS4 and that thing has such problems with the internet for some reason. Something is pushing goblin tribes further and further towards our local towns and villages, hence the cause of recent conflicts between them and humans. I suspect the cause is a dark spell we have been sent to investigate. Something incredibly evil is taking over the land, and I am concerned about what lies ahead for me and my fellow brothers. It's like you go into the game, and I wanted to play as the Empire, because the Empire is cool, always has been. And for some reason, the online modes would only let me play as Clone Wars or sequel trilogy. No idea why. Well, then the menu system in Battlefront 2 is just so obtuse. Oh, that worked. There we go. Nice. You're pissing me off with that. Okay. Onwards. Yeah, I've been expecting the industry as a whole to collapse for a while now. There's a mausoleum here in the bog that has lain undisturbed for many years. Cardinal Volpio informs me that the legendary artisan Rinaldo Gandolfi constructed a powerful relic there during his sojourn, which will aid the one that wields the combat cross. I must admit I'm apprehensive. Many of my comrades lie dead along the way, and I'm wondering if this fool's errand will not be the end of me too. But again, Rinaldo Gandolfi, referred to quite a few times in this game as the legendary, might as well just say artisan, in this game, who created a bunch of weapons that the Brotherhood of Light use and everything. It's the name of the guy who created the whip in Lament of Innocence. Every time I notice a reference like that, I'll point it out. Well, I've been expecting the industry to collapse for a while now, because it keeps pushing further and further, and it can't. There's going to be a point where people say no, and we'll experience another video game collapse. And we do end up with a concern with that, because so much of modern day industry is rooted online. Digital purchases, re-downloading stuff, DLC, that kind of thing. And if we do end up with a collapse where these companies start going out of business because the shit just isn't selling anymore, and a lot of your stuff will not be accessible anymore. And it's part of the reason why I have all my retro systems anyway. I say part because I also just like playing retro systems. There are good games on retro systems. was really happy to have picked up a Dreamcast last year. A lot of good games on it. It's just a tattered cloth. Yeah, there's a lot of good games on it. There's some of the best versions of games I already like. I like Sonic Adventure now, at this point. I didn't when I first played it. But I like it now. You can argue the Dreamcast version is the best version of that. Dreamcast version of RE2 is the best version of that game. Unless you want to try and get the PC version working. RE3 is fantastic on there. And you got the exclusive stuff. It's pretty cool. Worth looking into.
Forgive me, brother. But my need is far greater than yours.
Alright, now we're going to get an upgrade for our combat cross. I forget which upgrade this actually is. Oh, it's the grapple hook. Cool. Now we can grapple around. That was a cool idea. It expands platforming options and level design options. I like when it does something like this. I think that's cool. Oh hey, look! What's been following us? Swamp Troll. Smack it. Okay, he didn't even do anything there. They shouldn't have hit me. Gotta be careful because we don't actually have the ability to heal them. Do it. I'd forgotten how reliant this game is on QTEs like that. Which I think more than anything is the big point that tips you off. This is a God of War clone. I gotta admit, I'm glad that QTEs like that are just kind of dead now. Because it becomes excessive when you're just doing it to kill an enemy. Okay. Good looking game. You know, if there's one thing I'll definitely say this game does better than God of War, though, it's platforming. The platformer is always the worst part of God of War. I remember in God of War 2 when the there was a point in God of War 2 when it offered to let me switch to an easier mode because I was dying too often. And the problem was, I was dying on a bad platforming sequence. And it really didn't help because it's like, hey, do you want to switch to an easy difficulty? No. Only combat is affected. It's like, I'm not dying on the combat. I don't know, stupid platforming. Well, we made it. I feel like any other game would have like faded to black after that. Air grab. Am I ever actually gonna grab anything? Oh no, that's actually not a bad idea. Yeah, no, I'll grab it. I'll get that. If I can drag them into the air. Alright, let's see, what else do we get? Downward punch. So that could be a good follow-up to the air grab. That is a combination of the air grab. Let's grab the downward punch as well. Hands temple.
The stench of the bog fades into memory,
level, or is
and
this
the land
just
of
a
great
puzzle?
beauty lies before him, a
This game does have
paradise
puzzles.
where nature lives in harmony with all living creatures.
It practically apologises
Indeed,
for the puzzles
a
because
refuge
you can skip all
for
of them.
those who wish it. He is close now, close to the old gods and the old ways, long forgotten by men. This kingdom was once revered by all, yet now only a small part remains. Soon even this will disappear. The amulet senses its master. Its journey is almost over. He will need all his strength now, all his wits, if he is to succeed here, if he is to convince the old god to help him.
Oh no, we have this level. Ugh. I always forget where one of these is. I always end up missing one. Yeah, there's another one. Is that number 2? Yes, awesome. There's a dead guy. The ravaged corpses of my brothers lie scattered everywhere. I feel guilty in looting the bodies of my comrades, but I must find more life gems or I am lost too. Give me my brothers. I won't last long unless I increase my chances of survival, and the dead have no use for such things anymore. I know there is a life gem nearby. I can sense it. I just need to rest for a moment. I feel so weak. I think what that's referring to is, I think this is the first level where you need an ability you don't have at the minute to find everything. Which in a game like this I'm not entirely fond of. I've never done this game. I've never played this game with a complete... Oh, I missed the fucking thing again. I always miss the third one. It's always the third one. I've never completed this game and then gone back and found more stuff because I'm done with it by the time I've finished. It's a long game and I don't really want to do that. Every time, I always miss the third one. Okay, so there's number 2. Number 4 is down there, so it's somewhere around this area. If anybody sees it, you let me know. Okay, there's 4. Again, this is another example of the game starting off really poorly. Like I said, I don't think the game really gets good until we get to the vampire section. Not like the werewolf stuff is bad. Just the vampire section's the best. Interesting. Incorporate the jump into your combos, and you don't just go into the air, you have an attack to get into the air. Anybody seen anything? Because I'm not. There is such a thing as an environment that's too dense. Imagine Robert Carlyle in the studio having to record these sounds. Let's go on a bit further, see if we can find anything. My darling Martha, I fear that I am not going to make it back. Look after yourself and our beloved daughter. God forgive me for failing in my task. Know that you will always be in my heart and that one day we'll be together again. Loving husband, Victor. Okay, and the 5th one I'm pretty sure is past here. Yeah, there it is on the right. That's 5. But we still need 3. Figure it out like this. Yeah. Awesome. Also, just remember there is actually nudity in this game. Is there? I feel like there is, at some point. I don't know, I have to try and find a 3rd one now. I've been through this game twice now. Have I? No, like 1.5 times. PS3 and the half time on PC, which was where we were when we were trying to do the PC version earlier. And every time I've done it. Both times I've done it before, I've not found the third one. I've just had to... I've missed the third one. I've been desperately trying to find it for like, upwards of 10 minutes. Really irritating.
Show yourself! The Brotherhood needs your help. I need your help.
I know who you are, Gabriel. I am the guardian of the Lake of Oblivion, where the living can communicate with the dead. Tell me, warrior, are you aware of what is happening in the world?
We have been deserted by God. Creatures from the void come to claim the souls of man, to wipe mankind from the face of the earth.
We've explained this now rather than at the start.
And what of the elders of your order? What do they think?
It's like, yeah, no, cool, Patrick Stewart
us.
narrating the opening.
They believe that a
Not
powerful
really
spell has been
saying
unleashed by
anything,
someone or something. A spell that has isolated our world from the heavens, cutting us off from God, and allowing evil to flourish unchecked.
Why have the Brotherhood of Light sent you to the Lake of Oblivion?
They have dreamt that a message waits for me at this lake. A message that holds a clue to our salvation. I was instructed to seek you out, in the hope that you may show me the path.
The elders believe that these dreams are the last message from the heavens, and that you should know something that we are unaware of. Is that it?
Yes. My wife, Marie, was murdered not 2 days ago by the evil that roams these lands.
Well, you've moved on
Her
from
soul
that
and
pretty
those
quick.
of the recently departed are trapped here, and cannot find peace.
And that is why they sent you to the Lake of Oblivion, because they believe that she is waiting for you here to deliver a message to you.
Well, if the dead are trapped here because they can't get to heaven because of a
me.
powerful spell,
Only the most
what information
deserving
would
of the
Marie
living
have?
are worthy of speaking to the dead. Are you worthy, Gabriel?
Am I worthy? Are you worthy? Can you solve my puzzle? No, seriously, solve this puzzle. Unless you don't want to, in which case skip the puzzle. Because this game just lets you do that. Okay. To reach Marie before she dies, you must find a path to follow. Try to overcome your sorrow and you may avoid her demise. Choose only one direction in which to turn the 3 wheels, and their shine will reveal the hidden path to self-redemption. That's a weird idea to rhyme the first and fourth lines and the second and third. Okay, so we turn one ring and you'll basically figure out how this puzzle works. There you go. So, there is a goal here to get to specifically before we end up with the bridges all on one side, on the side we're at. Oh, I don't want to do that. Gone back to the start. Declim, did you do the puzzles when you played this game, or did you skip any of them? You did them, yeah. On my first time, there was one I skipped, but that's because it required an ability that I forgot I had. It's later in the game, I'll point it out when we get to it. Yeah, if you go into the hint scroll, you can just press the button and unlock the solution. You lose experience for it, but you can just skip it. Like that. Back to where we started again, god damn it. You don't need to play this scene every time we start. Seriously. Okay, clockwise, counterclockwise. Make sure I remember the buttons. Right, now I remember what we're aiming for is to have outer and inner both facing the same direction, left or right, while center faces the opposite direction, left or right. This go counterclockwise. Needed the inner one to go the other way. I think it's every ages I can feel it. Like a Rubik's Cube, when you get to the, you almost get done. And then you've got, like, 2 squares that are wrong. Ah, that's fair enough, Bane. I am actually pretty tired anyway. I ain't doing a stream tomorrow, but I should probably catch up on the recording. Yeah. And we'll keep going for a little while. Past the lake boss, at least. I think that's the next chapter. Well, thanks for joining us though, Bane. Sorry about all the messing around tonight. Hope we at least ended on an interesting note. See you later, Bane. I'll get you next time, buddy. We're starting this again. I'm really disappointed that the Legacy of Darkness save was just lost. I just got this. Yeah, I've just got this. 3 moves if I'd have moved that in the right direction. Jeez. Yeah. Thanks for joining us though, Bane. I'll catch you next time, buddy. Yeah, I never liked her anyway. That's a weird mask.
What does this mean? Tell
It
me.
means you stabbed your
Only
wife.
that you have passed the test. You appear worthy of entering the Lake of Oblivion.
You see, the puzzle wasn't a real test. The test was actually, would you stab your wife? No, it just comes back to the Lords of Shadow bit where we just have to kill our wife.
Make sure you have your daggers with you. One never knows when need may arise.
You never know when you'll have to stab your wife again. Is this an American God situation where our wife just won't stay dead and we have to keep killing her? Has that ever explained to the American Gods why his wife didn't die? Why she was alive but not? Alright, let's keep going. Is this the lake? Yes, it is.
The test has
Nice
shaken
lake.
him. I see the doubt in his eyes as he heads towards the lake.
I can see it even though I'm nowhere
So
near
Pan
it.
is helping him now. That's good. Perhaps it bodes well. I wonder if he knows what awaits him here, in this place where the dead can contact the living. It is cold now. A chill wind blows through his heart. I can see it, feel it. He will need help if he is to succeed. He must not fail. He will not fail. Not now. Not yet. Not if I have anything to do with it.
So... actually, let's look at Pan. Classic folklore tells of a mystical spirit that inhabits untamed woodlands, protecting them from harm. Legends tell of different forms to this spirit. Often an eagle, a deer, a boar, or even a horse, as well as many others. Some portray Pan as an evil satyr, while others tell a story of a benevolent and powerful demigod, a servant of Mother Nature herself. But mankind, in its arrogance, pollutes and destroys the world, and the old spirits depart. Soon Pan must choose his own fate. So, we talk about this game being a God of War clone, and it is. But there are also other things it copies. And this is probably the most blatant example. You know what I'm talking about, Clem. Oh, by the way, have you seen the games that are going to be on PlayStation Plus next month? And I'll teach you many things about Castlevania, most of which you didn't actually want to know. 2 games for next month's PS Plus are Shadow of the Colossus and Sonic Forces. Seriously. Coincidental, but you know, it's relevant right now. What, Sonic Forces? I imagine you're talking Sonic Forces. That's not a character. Yeah, Sonic Forces I played and it is bad. Oh, Shadow of the Colossus, fair enough. I played it on PS2 and I have the HD version on PS3. I never thought much of it, honestly. You did have a hand in it. Stylish. It was several things, honestly. We were going to continue Legacy of Darkness, which we were doing. But, you know, because it runs off to save his control pack on Nintendo 64. The damn thing is just, you know, it lost my save. So we were doing Castlevania Chronicles, which had won the vote at the time. And we did it for like an hour, it wasn't overly fun. So we switched to this instead, and I was like, you know, let's go for something a little bit longer. Yeah, One Shadow is a solid game. Oh, that's a shame, Clay. You're gonna miss Shadow of the Colossus. Autumn Shadow of the Colossus. Like I said earlier, I'm probably going to call it after this. It's been a long night trying to deal with all this on the stream. I don't know how this goes. But I do appreciate Stylish being here as well. Full dude Stylish. That's fair enough. I mean, I'm not your real dad. Feel like Clint. Ah, crap. Take care, buddy. Oh, I'm supposed to jump. There we go. Where am I? Alright, we'll get it this time. Aim for it. There we go. Yeah, like, I played Shadow of the Colossus PS2, I went back to it when I got the HD version on PS4, and still didn't think much of it. I have it on PS4, and I've not played it on PS4. Oh, I held on to that, come on. Well, I died. Yeah, I've not played it on PS4 yet, though I've heard that they did improve the controls on the PS4 version, which would be nice. In case you're wondering, Stylish, I'm talking about the lineup for PlayStation Plus next month. Sony announced them earlier today. It's Shadow Colossus and Sonic Forces. It's like, if you haven't played Sonic Forces, you should. Bad game. You know, I'd say it's the worst Sonic game of this generation if it had any real competition. Like, this generation, you've got Sonic Forces and Sonic Media. That's about it. There it is. The Sonic Mania is pretty solid. Sonic Forces is garbage. By the hairs of my chinny chin chin. Oh, wait, no. Damn it, I didn't move fast enough. Yeah, that is one thing I do hate about this fight. Just how much you have to get knocked off. You get to go straight to the chin. There we go. Let's try this again. Too much, man. This isn't fun. Get out there. Oh, you made it. The craziest thing about this is there's 3 of these in the game, and the first 2 both happen pretty early on, but then the third one happens right near the end, and there's like a huge gap in between them, and the game gets so much better after the second one.
Give me
me your dagger, quickly!
Okay, Patrick, shoot it. If Patrick should have asked me to give him a dagger, I'd probably give him a dagger. Cool dude, Patrick. Oh, cool.
Marie!
Well, I'm sorry for stabbing you in the stomach during the weird puzzle dream.
Forgive me. I was not there to save you.
There is nothing to forgive, my love. I am so happy to look upon your face again.
And I yours. My love, the elders of the Order hope that you can help us to understand what is happening.
Again, though, how could
The world
she
has been
really
isolated
know?
from the heavens. Some believe that God has abandoned us. Can it be true?
I feel that the spirits are trying to talk to me. They whisper things to me. It is hard to understand them all. It is so dark. So many people crying. I cannot find them in the blackness. I'm scared. There is something else. A shadow is on my mind. You must help us, Gabriel.
What are they telling you? Who are they?
They are the spirits who founded your order. And that the power of the Lords of Shadow is the key.
Lords of Shadow,
They
you
talk
say?
of a prophecy. I don't understand what they mean.
Prophecy
I can
involving
feel
the Lord
myself
of Shadow.
fading. I can hardly see you. Darkness is closing around me. I
Darkness
love you, Gabriel.
imprisoning me.
Marie!
All that I see. Absolute horror.
Why are you here? Who sent you?
I am Zobek, a warrior of your brotherhood. Pan and I are old acquaintances.
You mean your brotherhood?
He felt you would be in
Maybe
need
our
of my
brotherhood?
assistance.
I have heard of you. I am sorry. My name is Belmont.
I know who you are. Is that the spirit of someone you know?
Yes. It was my wife.
Oz, my wife.
Forgive me. I couldn't help but overhear what she told me.
Because I was stood
It
nearby
sounds like the
listening.
spirits who founded our order are trying to tell us something very important through her.
What do you mean?
Only that the founders of the Order seem to be using the dead to communicate with us. The prophecy has been secret for many centuries. It is known only to a select few.
What prophecy?
There is no way she could have known of it unless they managed to tell her somehow. Praise be to God.
What prophecy?
It is written that a pure-hearted warrior will claim the power of the Lords of Shadow as his own, and use it in order to overcome all evil. It is said this warrior will become God's vassal on earth, supremely powerful. He could do anything. The founding spirits have not abandoned us, Gabriel.
That
Thanks
sounds
to
like
your
something
Marie,
a player character could
we
do.
now know there is some hope. We have to enter the lands of the Dark Lords, you and I. We must reclaim the powers they hold and unite the heavens with this world once more. And don't you see, Gabriel? You can bring her back.
How?
If what you say is true, then we need to work quickly and in secret. The Lords of Shadow must not suspect we're on their trail. well, they will turn all of their attention towards us. We should take different routes, you and I will head for the land of the Lycans. You leave for the territory of the vampires and prepare the way. Then we must go on to the Lord of the Necromancers together. His realm lies furthest. Our enemy must suspect nothing.
Werewolves, vampires, and death.
Take this. It will allow you to absorb spiritual energy and will help cure your wounds. Good luck, my friend. May we be granted victory.
Thank you, brother. You have given me renewed hope.
And we're off. See, now is a more reasonable time for a travel montage. Having it earlier really didn't make sense. Especially in terms of the story. Weird. There's chapter 1 done though. Let's buy some moves. What's the upgrade? Ah, you rip the chain up from the ground. Spinning chain. Fires enemies in the air. Area counter strike. It requires me to actually pull off a perfect guard. Oh yeah, no, I like that one. That's one I usually use. Well, that's that. But that's gonna do it for tonight. A lot of messing around. Just trying to get somewhere with stuff. Yeah. Oh well. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I always really appreciate the support. Big special thank you to Bane, Klim, and Stylish for joining the chat. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Chat is what keeps streams alive, really. Good stuff. We'll be back 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time on Sunday with more Lords of Shadow as we move through this game. This is going to be a few sessions. Lament of Innocence was 2 sessions. Legacy of Darkness was probably going to end up as 2. Still really disappointed that we lost a save for that. Stupid controller packs on Nintendo 64, seriously unreliable. Yeah. But in the meantime, thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day, and take care. I'll catch you next time.